We all grow up believing one simple rule. If you pay for something, it belongs to you. A movie, a game, a car. Once the payment is complete, most of us never question what ownership really means. But something strange has happened. Some products can now refuse to work, not because they're broken, but because the software says no. It sounds like completely different stories. A heated seat in a car, a video game disappearing, a farmer unable to repair his own tractor. But they all point to the same question. What if that buy button no longer means what you think it does? Because this story isn't about one company or one product. It's about a quiet change that's redefining ownership itself, and most people haven't noticed it happening.
For decades, buying something meant the transaction was over. Once you paid, the product became yours to use, keep, repair, or even resell. That expectation shaped how we think about ownership. But today, many companies still use the word buy even when the legal reality is very different. In many cases, what customers actually receive is a license, permission to access a product under certain conditions. That difference may sound technical, but it changes everything. A movie you've purchased can disappear. A game you've paid for can become inaccessible. Access can be removed even after the payment is complete. The same idea has quietly spread beyond digital media. Even physical products are increasingly controlled by software, allowing features to be switched on or off long after they've been sold. At first, these looked like isolated incidents, different industries, different products, different companies. But the more evidence you examine, the more they begin to look like pieces of the same story. So, why is this happening now? One reason begins with electric cars. Unlike gasoline vehicles, EVs require far less routine maintenance, reducing the steady stream of service revenue that automakers relied on for decades. Software created a new opportunity. Instead of earning money only once, companies could continue selling features long after the car had already been purchased. At the same time, digital stores quietly operated under a different legal model. Many movies, games, and ebooks were never sold as permanent property. They were licensed from the very beginning. The same software logic eventually reached the physical world. On modern farm equipment, software controls diagnostics and repairs, giving manufacturers continued influence even after the equipment has been sold. Different industries, different products, but the same underlying idea. Software no longer just powers products, it allows companies to remain connected to them after the sale. And that's the pattern everything else begins to follow. One of the clearest examples came from BMW. The company charged about $18 a month to activate heated seats that were already physically installed in many vehicles. After widespread public backlash, BMW later backed away from that specific subscription model, but continued offering subscriptions for other software features. Mercedes-Benz took a different approach. Certain EQE and EQS models still offer an optional software purchase that unlocks additional horsepower, even though the hardware is already inside the vehicle. The pattern didn't stop with cars. In 2024, Ubisoft removed access to The Crew, leaving customers who had purchased the game unable to play it. That case became one of the events that helped inspire California's new consumer transparency law. Then came one of the biggest legal responses. On July 8, 2026, the FTC announced a settlement requiring John Deere to provide farmers and independent repair shops with access to diagnostic software previously limited to authorized dealers. None of these stories happened in the same industry, yet they all revealed the same pattern. Once software became part of the product, ownership became something companies could continue shaping even after the customer had already paid.
For consumers, the biggest change is psychological. Paying in full no longer guarantees permanent control. More people are beginning to ask a question they never had to ask before. What exactly did I buy? Regulators have started responding. California's AB 2426 now requires sellers of digital goods to clearly disclose when customers are purchasing a license instead of true ownership. Other states are beginning to move in the same direction. Companies are adjusting as well. After public backlash, some are becoming more cautious about charging subscriptions for physical hardware while continuing to expand software-based services. The legal system is also catching up. New lawsuits are testing how companies describe digital purchases and whether consumers were given enough information before clicking the buy button. The debate is no longer about a single company. It's becoming a broader conversation about what ownership should mean in a world where almost every product now depends on software.
Looking back, none of these stories were really about heated seats, tractors, or video games. Those were simply the places where a much bigger shift became visible. For generations, ownership ended at the cash register. Once money changed hands, control changed hands too. Software quietly introduced a third participant that never really left the transaction. That's why the same debate keeps appearing in completely different industries. Once products become software-driven, companies gain new ways to update them, improve them, and sometimes continue controlling them. The real question is no longer whether software belongs inside our products. It already does. The question is whether our idea of ownership will evolve as quickly as the technology itself. This story started with a simple question. Why can something you paid for suddenly stop feeling like it truly belongs to you? The answer wasn't hidden inside one company or one product. The evidence points to something much larger. Software has changed the relationship between companies and the products they sell. Payment no longer always marks the end of that relationship. This story isn't really about heated seats, tractors, or video games. It's about how a single line of software can quietly redefine ownership itself. And the next time you see the word buy, you may find yourself asking a very different question.